Hello guys, this is TGP, the Gaming Paladin, and I have a new video for you guys today, Survival Revival. Now you guys are probably like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? What the fuck is Survival Revival? Like, what the fuck? That doesn't even make sense, guys. Like, I might as well just click out this fucking video right now. What the fuck? You know, I'm gonna watch some PewDiePie and some fucking, Markiplier. I'm out of here. No, okay, listen. Let me explain to you what Survival Revival is, and let me explain to you what the fuck is going on in this video and the premises of this video. First of all, I have some Shadows of the Damned gameplay for you guys to watch, and I have the Evil Within E3 gameplay for you guys to watch as well, because we're talking about everything horror. So, the premises of this video is, I feel like the survival horror genre needs a revival in the gaming industry. We're going to talk about what survival horror should be and what survival horror shouldn't be, and everything like that, okay? I'm going to tell you everything I see in the survival horror and what they should be, and basically guys, in short terms, the premises of this video, the reason why I'm making this video is survival horrors need a comeback, they need a revival, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so survival horrors are barely made today. Their popularity has gone down drastically, barely any are getting made, and most of them are PC games now. I have no problem with that, but they are mostly indie games from indie developers such as Outlast, The Forest, Amnesia, Daylight, Among the Sleep, etc. And I have no problem that horror games are getting made by indie developers, all power to them and everything like that. But I'm getting sick and tired of playing horror games from indie developers, and I'll tell you why. Number one, they're low on money. They don't have the money that official big development teams have. They can only do so much, and that's number one. They don't have enough money as other game development studios. Number two, it takes them fucking forever to put out a game. I mean, The Forest. You know how long it took to even get that fucker to alpha? Yeah, the public alpha version is out right now, so get it. By the way, The Forest is badass. If that shit was finished, it would definitely be my PC game of the fucking summer, alright? So, yeah. I feel like indie developers, I have no problem with indie developers making horrors and everything like that, but those indie developers can never make a horror game nowhere near as legendary as Resident Evil, as The Evil Within, as Silent Hill, as Dead Space, as Fatal Frame. They can't make legendary horror games like that, and like I said, I already told you the reasons why they can't. Number one, they don't have enough money, and number two, it's gonna take them forever to make a fucking game because of how low their team is. They have such a low rate of members and the development team that it's gonna take them forever to fucking make the game. So it's like whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, Outlast was a good game, and I enjoyed it, and Whistleblower so far is pretty cool, and everything like that, and The Forest is pretty awesome, but these games, like I said, don't come near, the games that we know and love when we grew up. I want to see more big game studios, game development teams making more horror games. I mean, for example, The Last of Us, I'm being honest with you, is the most recent survival horror game I can honestly think of. But other than that, there really hasn't been any other survival horrors that were big like that. Like I said, the last big game that I can think of that was survival horror that was really good is The Last of Us. Other than that, they're just fucking indie games. And like I said, I have no problem with indie games, but the thing I don't like about indie games is the fact that, number one, I feel like I'm repeating my fucking self. I feel like I'm a broken record going on and on and on and on and on. Basically, guys, I have no problem with indie games, or indie horror games made by indie developers, but they're not going to be nowhere near as a great horror game like you're watching now, The Evil Within, or Dead Space, or any of these other games. I want to see more big game developers making horror games. For example, Naughty Dog, made The Last of Us. Tango Gameworks, which is Shinji Mikami's new development team's making The Evil Within. fucking Visceral Games made Dead Space. You know, I want to see big development teams making horror games. You know what I'm saying? You know, even if they're not familiar with the genre, look at Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog never made a fucking survival horror. They were just adventure games. All they really made was, you know, Uncharted was their biggest, and Sly Cooper and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? They weren't used. They were foreign to the survival horror genre, and I think if Naughty Dog could do it, then anybody else can do it. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. The Last of Us wasn't really a survival horror. It was more. I mean, it did have some elements, but it wasn't a strictly a survival horror like The Evil Within or Resident Evil or Silent Hill or anything like that. But it is the last big horror game I can think of. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, honestly, dude, what I'm trying to say is I just really want big game studios to make more survival horrors and less indie game developers making horror games, because it's taking forever and their games are just nowhere near as good as the big dudes, you know, the top dogs, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, the games are fun and everything, but you can only go so far with indie game developers and their games. You can only go so far. Nice fucking headshot, by the way. That was nice and gushy like Gushers. Anyway, gushy. What the fuck? Well, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, anyway. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing I also wanted to tell you guys about. What else? I'm tired of horror games. This is another big thing I wanted to tell you. I'm tired of horror games that do not let you kill your enemies. Run, hide. It gets boring and it gets fucking repetitive. I like horrors where you can actually shoot and kill your fucking enemies. You know? Because look, I'm gonna be honest with you, alright? I'm gonna be honest with you. Amnesia is a good horror game, but it gets so boring. Same for Outlast. It gets so boring. However, Outlast is dramatically way better than Amnesia in my opinion. Or Dear Esther, or whatever. There are so many horror games nowadays made by indie developers where the formula of their horror games is run, hide from the antagonist or whatever the threat may be that you're hiding from or trying to evade. It gets boring. And I don't like that. It came to a certain extent, like, I don't mind that, okay, if you're doing something unique, like how Outlast has the camera or Daylight has the phone, you know, and you're running and hiding like that, okay, you know, at least you're adding some unique elements. But Amnesia, honestly, in my opinion, is nowhere near, it's a good game, but it's nothing amazing, and it's fucking boring. Like, you run and hide. Like, I don't want to do that. I like horror games where you can actually shoot your fucking enemy. Like The Evil Within you're just watching right now. I like horror games where you can shoot your enemy. I mean, now some people may say, oh no, if you shoot your enemy, it's gonna take out the horror in the games. No, it's not, bro. First off, you know that feeling when you are empty on ammo? You know, when you're low on ammo and you get that terrorizing feeling, oh fuck, how am I gonna beat this and that? My fucking, you know, I barely have any ammo. You know what I'm saying? That is a great feeling for a horror game. You know, when you're low on ammo, you feel terrorized, you feel threatened, you feel weak. And you wanna implement that on the fucking player who's making your game. You know, on your game, you know? You want to get that feeling, you know, and by running and hiding, like, you know, is fucking boring. Now, however, if it's like The Evil Within, like you see right now, if it's running and hiding and you mix it with shooting, that's fine. Mix stealth and action, that's perfectly fine. But when it's just going to be running and hiding, bro, it gets fucking boring. Like, I want to face my enemy. I want to face him. I don't want to hide and be a pussy and run and be a pussy. I want to face my threat. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be running and hiding. It just gets fucking boring. You know? And whoever says that, you know, if you run and hide, if you shoot, if the horror game has shooting, it takes out the horror, you're a fucking idiot, because that does not happen. I'm just kidding. You're not a fucking idiot. You're just a little cuckoo in the head. Alright? It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? it doesn't matter. It just makes the game more awesome. Honestly, I like it like that. I like the fact that I can headshot zombies or demons or monsters or gargoyles or vampires or werewolves or whatever, or aliens or whatever the fuck I'm fighting, alright, in a horror game. You know what I'm saying? I want to shoot my enemy. Okay, I want to be able to shoot them. I want to be able to fight them. You know what I'm saying. And I want to have that low ammo kind of feel, because that is very terrorizing. That's more terrorizing than running and hiding. Okay, so yeah, that's another big thing. I fucking hate horror games where you just run and hide. It's stupid. And most of the games that have that are fucking indie games. I mean, in Silent Hill you can shoot and kill your enemies. Resident Evil you can shoot and kill your enemies. The Evil Within you can shoot and kill your enemies. Dead Space you can shoot and kill your enemies. I want to shoot and kill my motherfucking enemies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's another big thing that I really want. Running and hiding can only go so far, guys. So far. All right. So yeah. What else? So like I said, I want more big studios to focus on making horrors. Another thing, art style is very important when making survival horrors. You see how the Evil Within, it's realistic, has a realistic graphics engine, and it's it has a lot of realism and makes it more scary. You see right here, Shadows of the Damned, it's a little more, I mean, it has that realistic outlook on it, but it is kind of cartoony as well. Well, then again, it's a Suda 51 game, so of course it's going to look kind of cartoony and unrealistic. But if you're going to make a horror game, make it realistic. Make the graphics look real, because that really grabs the player into believing that this shit can happen in reality, or it makes them see it in a realism kind of way, or a realism kind of perspective. If you have a graphics engine or design a game where it's more realistic, the more scarier it's gonna be, because the more motivating, or more what's it called? Well, I'm trying to look for the word. More believing. You can. I'm trying to look for the word. Whatever. Basically, guys, just make the graphics engine real as fuck. Because number one, it's gonna make the game look even more scary. Number two, it's gonna capture people into believing that shit is actually real when it's really not. But you know, that's just an effect of the game. To make it more scary, you know. So I really think that the art style and the shadows and everything in a horror game can really make a horror game make it scary. You know, I mean, Resident Evil, the early Resident Evils, obviously the graphics weren't the best back then, but who gave a fuck? The game was scary as fuck, and it was perfect. Same for Silent Hill. You know, and back then they were back then, even though the graphics were like pixelated and shit, they were aiming for a realistic kind of feel. You could tell they were. And Evil Within and Resident Evil, that's what I love. They aim for realism. And when you add realism in your game to your graphics engine, trust me, it's going to make it a lot scarier than making it cartoony and shit. You know? So that's another big thing. Art style is very important. Another thing, do things different, not cliche type of horrors. I hate the type of horrors where, let's say you're going through a hallway, right? And you are walking through a hallway and you hear dun dun, and then it stops, right? The noise stops. And you go forward and a monster pops up. Okay, bro, that was so predictable. Noises before, but then again, I've heard a study saying that noises before make the pop-up even scarier. Because now we're talking about pop-up horrors. Pop-out horrors, whatever you want to call them, right? So I think either way it's good, but okay, once in a while it's not that bad. You know, if you give out a warning noise that something's about to pop up, then you know that gives the player a lot of suspense, a lot of, oh my god, when the fuck is it coming out? Is it gonna come up from the ceiling, from the floor, from the left to the right? Where do I look? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna really make the player say, yo, what the fuck? Yo, my ball sack is fucking cold right now, bro. I'm fucking scared shitless. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really makes the player very scared if there's a warning noise because it adds suspense. That's fine, but if you keep doing it over and over and over again, it's gonna, your formula to make a great horror game is gonna die out, and it's gonna be blah. This is why I'm gonna be a fucking game director. That's my fucking motive, bro. When I'm a game director, I'm gonna make the best fucking games ever. You watch. But anyway, yeah, I feel like that would be much better if they did something like that. You know what I'm saying? You could do that. You could have your little suspense warning sound, but please, don't do it all the time. Once in a while, it's fine, and but don't do that cliche type of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And look at these monsters. Look at these demons you're seeing, and the evil within right now. And this down. Look at that. Look at that. He has a fucking axe through his fucking head and shit. That makes it scary because it's realistic. The monsters look real. I mean, look at this fucking hallway. Look at that shit. It's beautiful. You see the door at the end of the hallway. It's just, look at that. That's good. And another good thing that horror games should also implement nowadays is add some mind fucks. Look at this. You see how he's in the hallway? And it was all an illusion. The blood came in, it's all illusion. And then it makes the place like, yo, what the fuck? Where am I? Like, wasn't I just in that fucking hallway? Where the fuck did the blood come from? Where the fuck am I at? Where am I right now? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? It adds a lot of, like mystery to the game if you have illusions in the game as well, some mind fucks, so I think this is cool. And listen to the scream. I'm gonna shut up right now. Listen to the scream. Listen to this. Isn't that shit fucking terrifying? I remember the first time I watched this E3 demo, that fucking scream. I was watching this E3 demo on YouTube, right? And I kept replaying that scream over and over again because I got the chills from that scream. It was just fucking creepy. So yeah, another thing is audio is another big thing in making great survival horror games. You want the noise on point. You want great shit. You know what I'm saying? You want the top of the top voice actors. To make those weird noises like. You want that creepy sounds. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the kids in the back of the classroom who make weird ass sounds usually turn out to be the best voice actors for monsters and horror games. So yeah, like I said, do not make the pop-up scares predictable and everything like that. And also randomize the spawns of the enemies all the time. Maybe once don't make it scripted. You get killed by an enemy popping out of a window by slitting your neck with glass. And then you respawn and it does the same shit. It's predictable. No, make the enemy don't come out that window. Maybe make the enemy come out of the ceiling this time every time you spawn. Randomize the spawns. You know what I'm saying? So by doing this, guys, you will make a great horror game. But guys, this video is coming to an end. I'm TGP. I hope you love this video and everything like that. Basically, guys, I want big game developers to make more horror games because I really want to see the survival horror coming back. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm out. TGP. Peace.